Hazard, risk. You hear these words thrown around all the time, and hey, you've probably used them to mean the same thing. I know I have. But when we're talking about safety, whether it's at work, at home, or anywhere really, they mean two totally different things. And getting this right, it's not just about sounding smart, it's about actually being safer. So let's clear this up once and for all.
So here's the million-dollar question. Are they the same? The short answer is a big, fat no. And understanding why they're different isn't just about winning a trivia night. It fundamentally changes how you see and deal with safety in your everyday life.
All right, first things first. Let's get the definition straight.
Let's kick things off with hazard. A hazard, simply put, is anything that has the potential to cause harm. It could be an object, like a hammer, a substance, like bleach, or even a situation, like a slippery floor. The key word to remember here is potential.
Okay, so what about risk? Risk is all about the likelihood, the probability that a hazard is actually going to hurt someone. It only comes into play when a person is exposed to that hazard. Think of it like this. If there's no exposure, there's no risk. It's really that simple.
So here's the bottom line. A hazard is the what? The thing that could hurt you. It's the potential, a kind of static thing that just exists. Risk, on the other hand, is the how likely. It's dynamic. It's a probability. And it can go up or down depending on what's happening.
Okay, enough with the dry definitions, right? Let's bring this stuff to life with some real-world examples, from something as scary as a shark to something as simple as a hammer. So picture a shark out in the ocean. With its powerful jaw and all those razor-sharp teeth, it absolutely has the potential to cause harm. So in the world of safety, the shark itself, just swimming around, is a hazard. But the risk? That doesn't show up until we introduce a person to the equation. Someone swimming near that shark? That's the risk. It's the action that creates the probability of the hazard, the shark, actually causing harm to that diver.
Here's another one for you. A bottle of bleach sitting under your sink is a hazard. It has the potential to cause harm. Whether it's locked up tight or just sitting on the counter, the hazard is always there.
The risk only materializes through an action. The moment someone interacts with that bleach in a dangerous way, like, drinking it, that potential for harm becomes a very real, very high risk. The action is what activates the danger. Let's bring it down to a simpler example. A hammer, just sitting on a workbench. Right now, it's just a static object, but it's still a hazard. It's a source of potential injury. The moment you pick that hammer up and start swinging it, you've introduced risk. There's now a chance, a probability, that you might hit your thumb. See? The action of using the tool is what brings the risk to life. But here's where things get really interesting. Risk isn't just an on or off switch. It's more like a dimmer dial. The exact same hazard can be super low risk 1 minute and then incredibly high risk the next. It all depends on the situation. To show you what I mean, let's take a classic hazard, a poisonous spider. The spider itself is the hazard. It has the potential to cause you harm. But the actual risk it poses can change dramatically. Just look at the difference here. If that spider is sealed up tight in a jar, the likelihood of it harming you is basically zero. The risk is low. But if that same spider gets loose in the room, whoa, the likelihood of a bite shoots way up, the severity is imminent, and now the risk level is dangerously high. The hazard, the spider, is still the same. It was the circumstances that changed the risk. The fact that this can change is fantastic news. Why? Because it means we have the power to manage it. We can't always eliminate hazards, but we can almost always lower the risk that comes with them.
Remember our shark? The risk of an attack drops to almost nothing if you're inside a shark cage. Or think about a hospital. The hazard of infection is managed by the risk-lowering control of wearing protective gear. All of these things are what we call control measures. They're the steps we take to reduce that probability of harm.
This whole process is so important that it's actually been formalized into something called a risk assessment. It's a simple but really powerful three-step loop. First, you identify the hazards around you. Second, you assess the risks they pose, like how likely are they to actually cause harm. And third, you implement controls to bring that risk down.
So this is the key takeaway. You can now see the world in two parts. First, there's the hazard, the potential for harm. And second, there's the risk, the probability of it actually happening. And this quote just says it all. Hazards are always present, but with correct prevention measures, we can reduce the risk level. A ladder, a can of gasoline, a sharp tool, These things are always going to be around. But the risk, that's the part we have control over.
And that leaves us with a final thought to take with you. Just look around right now. What's one hazard you can spot? Could be anything. Now think beyond that. What is the real risk it poses, and what's one simple thing you could do to lower that risk? It's a brand new way of seeing safety.